So the main goal today is to teach you guys how to achieve this with your Charlotta. She has a lot of potential and I'm going to be running you through the mechanics for her. So let's go. Today we're against Rock Golem and his two mini Wyvern buddies, like Rock Wyverns or whatever. Yeah. So we're gonna open up by just jumping in with her lunge. That's what we do right there whenever you see Charlotta's gap closing half the map with a spin. It's you hit the jump, then you X. You just X to the target. You jump and X to the target. It's just that simple. And that's it. So we're just gonna be comboing. Like, okay, so here's the thought behind this build, right? Because this is a tank build Charlotte, as you can see, with the 40k HP, right? What we're doing here is just we're not really hitting invincibility right off because, well, once it gets into overdrive mode, yeah, we're gonna want to take a moment to hit invincibility because the fight becomes even more chaotic with 3 people. But pre overdrive mode, or pre the boss going into his rage mode, you can just freely DPS and heal through whatever damage if you do get hit, and you're able to heal through the damages even while being hit because you have Stout Heart. But as you can see in his rage overdrive mode, the attacks become not only more chaotic, but they have a huge flinch on them. So a lot of interruptions and stoppings going on right here. No, we're especially when you're doing like 3 bosses, due to Charlotta's SBA being like a slash, you can try to line it up where you can hit as many targets as possible, which is at least 2 out of the 3 mobs on the field. So if you can do that, then they'll save you a lot of work. And once again, we're just popping off. You can see the stun bar building real fast on him. When we do the finisher right there, which is when you see Charlotta jump in the air, then she sashes down, that's our finisher. We're ending the combo. That does a lot of stun damage. Right here it gets incredibly chaotic and everyone's popping off into overdrive mode, and when it becomes hard for you to see what's going on, you just pop invincibility for safety if you're low on health, and then you pop Luminal for the quick heals. Luminal is your best bet for healing quickly when you're low health, since not only is your area of reach wider, but the damage is better than your typical noble stand sashes, right? So we'll just keep focusing on the Rock Golem. Once we get him out, we're gonna focus on the other side bosses. But the Rock Golem, he's when he's in rage mode, he's not as targeting. Like, he'll stay in really one spot and just rage out, and once he's in overdrive mode, you can see that the damage on him is decreased, right? That's because he takes less damage. So that's when we switch focus and sorry, I'm still recovering. That's when you switch focus and go on to another critter. Right here we drop incredibly low, but luckily we had a goodly timed goodly timed skill burst, which gives us a break, and then we focus back on the boss because look, our damage is back to normal on him. Even though he is still on his overdrive mode, we can still just he's actually almost down too, which is incredible. Our HP is so low right here, which remember I said about low HP and Luminal and how quickly it builds up. Even through, actually, if I had landed the finisher of that Luminal, I would have gotten a decent chunk of HP back, but no target was in range. And when you pop Luminal, you're kind of stuck in the spot. You can't be like moving around. So one of the unfortunate downsides, especially when fighting 3 different mobs or bosses and everyone's super mobile. super chaotic. But to me, Charlotta thrives in these type of environments because she's so mobile with her kit. Alright, so right here now we're down to 2 mobs, and it becomes a lot easier when it's 2v1 rather than 3v1. Less chances for things to go wrong, less variables to account for. Right here, you just want to keep everyone in your field of vision, or try to, but try to focus on one. When he goes into his overdrive mode, you switch and focus on the other. That's basically it. Just let them rage out, because it's a waste of time to really hit them when they're doing their overdrive. Not only is the damage reduced, but they just skip around the map too much. You're really not getting that much damage off. Right here, you also want to be sure to use her parry, especially if you're using the double character skill like I am. It's not a requirement, but it's you see how useful it here. Not only do you get like the long invincibility, but the attack, you get an attack buff for 15 seconds, 30% attack buff for 15 seconds. This is so useful, especially towards increasing your finisher damage, since the damage cap on it is so high. Right here we are just spamming Luminil. We're just staying, and probably we're not really in, like, there's no good point to pop invincibility because everyone's moving all over the map. And for the ones that, like, I'd say you want to use invincibility when you just want to sit in one spot and DPS. And because everyone's so mobile right now, I'm not really getting the chance to do that, so it's not a good time to pop it. Because I'm gonna pop it and I'm gonna be hopping around to try and get some DPS off, which is a waste of the invincibility to me. In that scenario, you can just rely on her parry invincibility, honestly, especially versus this fight. But right here is pretty much a done deal. That's it. His ritual's over. We finish him off with the finisher. You can see the damage it did. And yeah, let's go over the build. Not a bad run. A lot changed since my last video too for my end game tank build, but I'll discuss it with you guys, the changes I made. I'm really liking it though. Alright, so let's go on to the build discussion. So as you can see, we're using, I'd say the primary targets that you want for this build to be successful would be War Elemental, damage cap, supplementary, right? At least 1 to 2 supplementary, honestly 2. Hopefully you have 2. And let's get into the like nitty gritty now. So you want 2, but you also want Stout Heart is mandatory for this build. Her character skill is also mandatory for the build. The skills, invincibility, Luminil, onslaught, ladder. Luminil, invincibility, and onslaught are mandatory for this build. You want to make sure that you cap out your damage so that you can focus on the tanky aspects. Now you don't need to slot drain into a skill slot. You don't need a low testing 1 is not picking up shit. 15 drain. You only need like any drain you can get on your right stone, which is the stone you're gonna imbue on your weapon for the sigils. All you need is like a level 3, level 4, or whatever drain, and you're good. Drain cap is so freaking low, you don't need it on your sigils. Don't get drain on your sigils. Get it on your weapon right stone. That's the most important thing you can take away from trying to build drains tank Charlotta is to not use a level 15 drain. Trust me, you're wasting a slot. Now with that free slot, you can focus on actual useful things such as tyranny, stamina, and if you still have more free slots, combo finisher, combo booster. If you can fit all of those into your build, you're well on your way to like the best tank Charlotta. Also for the defensive sub-sigils, you'd want improved dodge, firm stance, and maybe you can experiment with Garrison. Aegis is a pretty good one, especially if you're running tyranny, but just it depends on what you have. Not everyone's gonna have the correct sigil, so base it off of what you have, but keep in mind that you do want Drain, low leveled, Stout Heart. You want to hit the damage cap requirements, and you want to have her character sigil. If you have the double character sigil, that's great. If you can only choose one, choose the Luster, which is a character sigil that gives you reduced cooldown reduction whenever you're hitting X on your X dashes. That's it. Let me know how your Charlotta gameplay works out for you if you try this build, and good luck fighting those proud bosses solo.